Is the voice fine right now, guys? Please let me know. Is the voice fine right now? Hello, hello. Is the voice audible right now, guys, or still the issue is there? Let me just check once. Is the voice still having the same issue, guys? Is the voice still having the same issue? Let me just check once, guys. Give me a second. I hope so it is fine right now, guys. Even I don't know. I'm even trying right now. Give me a second, guys. Let me just check once. Okay. Is it fine right now, guys? Can somebody let me know? Is it fine right now? Is it okay right now, guys, or is still the same issue coming up? Okay, I think so. It is fine right now, right? Is the audio fine, guys? Please let me know. Okay, I don't know what was happening. Even I was trying my level best to change the audio settings. I hope so that it is okay right now. There's not a lot of trouble with the audio right now, guys. Please let me know. Everything is fine? Okay, great. So again, guys, sorry, I don't know why the audio issue was happening. Nevertheless, now it's perfect, so we can start with our class. So a lot of time has already been wasted in this. Okay, let me just let my team know about the same. Give me a second. Okay, guys. So in this particular class, we are going to start out directly with C++. The class just started right now. There was some issue with the audio. Okay. Okay. So like I said, guys, in this particular class, we'll start out with C++. Just do let me know how many of you guys know C++ or don't know C++. Could you guys let me know in the live chat? How many of you guys know C++ or don't know C++? Could you guys please let me know in the live chat, guys, once? Don't know? Okay, no issues in that. See, you don't have to understand anything about programming or C++ or anything to attend this particular boot camp. We'll be learning everything from the basics, from the utmost scratch to a certain particular intermediate level. We'll be starting out with C++. We'll be learning C++. We'll be learning about if else statements, loops. We'll be doing certain programs in C++. Then we'll be going towards data structures and algorithms in C++. That is arrays, linked lists. We'll be seeing some of these data structures. We'll be implementing some of its methodologies to understand the data structures properly. And then we'll move out to solving some questions from lead code and code chef. Now that is basically the entire boot camp. If you are attending it, this is basically for placements. If you guys are thinking about getting internships or about placements itself, then you cannot ignore data structures and algorithms or competitive programming at any particular point of time. So we'll be starting out with the utmost basics. We'll be seeing and we'll be learning how to actually solve questions on platforms, how to do competitive programming. And even if you don't know what is competitive programming, you will eventually learn that in these 7 days. Okay. Now, the entire bootcamp is completely free of cost. We never charge anything for the boot camps, as well as every single one of our boot camps is also associated with Google and Amazon. So if you are attending this particular boot camp daily, on time, live within the class itself, you will also be eligible for getting the Amazon as well as the Google certificates. If you guys want to see that, I can even show you guys that as well. So right over here, most of our students so recently we completed our bootcamp on Python and artificial intelligence. The certificates for that were sent just within the past half an hour itself. For those who have still not seen their certificates, please do check your email IDs, check your spam emails as well. You will be able to find your certificates. Most of the students who get the certificates actually post it up on LinkedIn. So I'm just showing a random post right over here. So for example, this is the Google certificate that the student has received, say in Hyder, for the Python and AI bootcamp. Otherwise as well, somebody must have posted the other certificates as well. Let me just check that up as well, guys. This is the Amazon certificate that you will be receiving at the end of this bootcamp. Again, the certificates are also for free, as well as the bootcamp is also for free. The criteria of getting the certificates is to attend the classes live on all the 7 days within the class timings itself. So if you are coming to the class a little bit late, you will be missing out on the certificates. The certificates are only given to those students who are actually learning something within the class. So that is the reason why we have kept only that as your criteria of getting the certificates. Nevertheless, that is basically a gist of the certificates and what we are going to learn in this particular bootcamp. Along with that, so who am I? Many of you guys might be knowing it. Many of you guys might be new to DevTown as well. So let me tell you guys about me. So my name is Shaurasana and I will be taking up your classes for the next 7 days. A little bit of professional backstory about me. So I started out my journey in the second year of my college. I got a 2 months internship working as a data analyst intern in Reliance Industries. After that, for my third year of college, I got into Geo as a data scientist intern, where I did my 6 months internship right over there. After that, for my very first job, I joined in at Google as an Explore ML lead, that is a machine learning lead. I worked in Google for almost 1.5 years. After that, I decided to switch my careers from data science into full stack development. I did a lot of freelancing. I worked with companies like Zomato, Cred, and even worked as a software development engineer. That is, even right now, I'm a software development engineer at Fastnell. So that is a quick backstory about me. I have taken up more than 200, 300 boot camps like this, events in various different colleges, as well as handled a lot of different interviews as well for many of the students. So that is basically a quick backstory about me of what I've done up till this point of time. Now you don't have to worry, even if you don't know anything about programming, I will be teaching you guys from the basics, okay? And you don't even need to have a laptop for this particular boot camp. Even if you are having a mobile phone, you will be able to practice everything, you will be able to code everything, you will be able to learn everything. The only thing that you guys need to focus upon is focusing upon the class, learning within the class itself. Can I take that into account from you guys? Can you guys deliver upon that? Just focusing upon the class, paying attention within the class, that is all that I'm asking from you guys. Will you guys be able to promise me to do that? Please let me know. Will you guys be able to promise me to do that, guys? Also, just reminding you guys, writing present sir does not mark your attendance. You're just wasting your time. You're not focusing upon the class. If you are writing present sir, that means you're not focused upon the class. That means you're not going to get the certificates. There's a team of 2 volunteers at DevTown whose only job is to note down the email IDs of the Google account associated with the students who are writing present sir. Those students who are writing present sir are not going to get any kind of certificates from DevTown or from the partner companies. The reason for that is that basically means you're not paying attention in the class, you're not focused upon the class, and the certificates are only meant for students who are learning something within the class. The live chat is only provided to you guys to put down your doubts, to put down your queries, so that I am able to address that. I am able to work upon it, right? So please don't misuse the live chat, guys. If you're here to learn, I'm more than welcoming you guys. And this is going to be an awesome 7 days of journey. A lot in store for you guys. Not just the certificates, but a lot of different things as well. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay. So let's start with our today's class, guys. The first thing that we are going to learn about right now is we are going to start off with the basics of C++ first. Okay, so we'll just open up C++ online compiler. I'm just searching for that right over here. So this is an online space that will be made available to us, where we will be able to code whatever we want to. Okay, it is going to be super easy, super clear, guys. So I've just searched for C++ online compiler. The very first particular website that I'm able to see, I'm just opening that up. You can do this on your mobile phone as well. Just a quick suggestion: do not code along with me, guys. Okay, many of the other instructors will tell you differently, but for me in my class, do not code along with me. The reason I'm saying that is because first, you are not paying attention to me right over there. You will be missing out on steps, you will be missing out on knowledge. That is not something that I intend to do. When you are in the class, focus solely upon in the class itself. That's it. Once the class is over, then whatever you have learned in the class, whatever notes that you have created within the class itself, just revise that and try to code whatever you have learned in the class. In that way, you will be able to increase your recall, as well as you will be able to, whatever you code, that will become yours truly. Okay, so please make sure that you are not coding along with me in the class. Will that be fine, guys? Please let me know. Will that be fine, guys? Please let me know. Will that be fine, guys? Please let me know. Okay, see, these are some suggestions that I'm giving to you guys to make sure that you are able to take up 100% from the class back home. See, certificates don't have value if you don't have the knowledge associated with them. If you have the knowledge that you're gaining in the class as well as the certificate, then the certificate has value. Please try to understand it. No interviewer is going to be like, oh, you have 100 certificates, please join our company. They don't hire like that. They see your knowledge, they check up your certificates for credentials for those knowledge, and then that is how you get internships and jobs. So if you are here just for the certificates, I'm just reminding you guys, just the certificates have no value. You are learning here for free, you are getting the certificates for free, so make sure that you are able to take up 100% back home. Okay, so let's get started, guys. Right over here, I'll just remove everything so that we are able to start from the utmost scratch. Okay, the first thing that we are going to learn right over here is that the place where you are writing your code is basically a file called as main.cpp. Now you must have seen other files, .pdf file, .ppt file, .doc file. So these are different file types that are there for various different use cases. In this particular case, we are having a .cpp file. This particular file contains your C++ code, okay, inside of it. Whatever code that you want to write in C++, that is the language, you can put it up inside of this particular file. Now there are multiple different other languages out there as well. For example, you are having Java, JavaScript, Python, C, C Sharp. You are having some languages called as Pikachu. You have some languages that are very difficult to learn, that is called as a brainfuck language as well. So there are multiple different languages all across the globe. Now C++ is one of the most widely used programming languages for data structures and algorithms and competitive programming. Most widely, even for me, when I was preparing for my internships as well as for my job roles, I use C++ for preparing myself for data structure algorithms and competitive programming, just like many of the developers out there. And it is one of the first languages that you should be learning. The most important language, the first language that you are learning should be either C++ or Java. No other programming language. For this particular bootcamp, because we have less amount of time, that is the reason why I have chosen just one language, that is C++, that we are going to learn. Now, when you're writing any kind of code inside of this particular file, what you're trying to do is you're trying to give some commands to your computer. Now, your computer does not understand English. Please try to understand this. Your computer does not understand English. You need to understand this, guys. What it understands is a string of zeros and ones. So binary is what basically your computer understands. Now for us as humans, it is very difficult to understand binary. So there is a gap. I want to give some commands to my computer to do something, but I'm not able to do that because there is a communication gap between us. This is where, just like a translator, a compiler comes into place. This is an online compiler, as the name is written right over there. C++ online compiler itself, guys. What it does, it takes up your code that you have written in English, that is your C++ code itself. It compiles it down to your machine language. That is basically a binary code. That is the strings of zeros and ones that the computer is able to understand. That is the job of your compiler. And then the computer basically does whatever it wants to do according to this set of rules and the regulations that are there. Okay. Now, sometimes when you're writing some code, let's start with writing our code, guys. The first thing that we need to understand is inside of this main.cpp file, you cannot directly write your code. Please try to understand this. If I say that, okay, print something out, print hello world. Now it makes no sense to C++. Why? Because for example, if I am saying likho hello world, okay, or likho namaste. Okay, if I'm saying, now this is a Hindi term, guys, a Hindi term. Only Indians will be able to understand it who know that particular language itself. For other people who don't know Hindi, it might sound like a new term to them. They might not be able to understand what you're trying to speak. So you have to speak in that particular language that everybody is able to understand, right? In this exact same way, when you're writing your code inside of C++, you have to write it according to that particular language, that C++ language itself. Like English, it also has a lot of grammar backing it up. Okay, so if you make some grammatical errors while speaking in English or writing in English, the meaning of a particular line can almost change. Right? In the exact same way, there's some grammar associated with this C++ value as well, guys. Okay? Your grammar as well is represented as syntax inside of C++. The technical term for grammar for C++ is syntax, guys. So you're not following that syntax, that grammar, again your computer won't be able to understand what you're doing. And that is what we are here to learn, the basic syntax, the basic workings of the C++ code. Now, the very first thing that you need to understand is that here, directly writing just a C++ code of line, for example, cout less than hello world. Now, this is actually a C++ line of code, but still nothing will happen. Why? Because inside of your C++ file, that is the main.cpp file, guys, there is a starting point. There is a starting point that you have to create within that file. Now, this starting point is also referred to as the main function. all the code, all the main code, the starting point where C++ needs to start running your code needs to go within that particular function. Think about it in such a way, guys. There is a whole world out there. But where is this, or a race? Okay, you must have seen F1 races, right? The cars just go in circle, round and round and round. But where is the game actually starting? Where do I need to see if a particular person is winning or losing, where the game is actually starting or ending? That is basically the start line of that race, right? In a similar manner, here the start line is called as a function, and the name of that function is called as main. Are you guys able to understand? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. So creating this starting line for our main.cp file is actually very simple. You first have to, we'll be learning about data types and everything, but right now just take it on a bare shell note itself. You need to start it out with int main. This is how you create that starting point, guys. Int main, and then parenthesis, then curly braces. Now, why all these things are there? Why is there a parenthesis? Why is there a curly braces? What is the meaning of that int? We will be understanding it slowly and steadily. For right now, try to take up as this is how you create that starting line. For right now, because slowly and steadily we'll be learning, right? I cannot teach you everything at one go, but we'll be learning it slowly and steadily. But for right now, just think about it. This is the exact syntax, the exact grammar within our C++ that helps us create the starting point of our code. Everything that you want to do will go inside of this code itself, guys. Now, writing code is lengthy and difficult. Please try to understand it. Doing everything on your own might be difficult, right? If I don't give you guys a mobile phone, how will you watch a YouTube video? You'll have to create the entire thing from scratch. You'll have to get batteries, you'll have to get a display from some place, you'll have to get speakers from some place, you'll have to do all that thing, you'll have to connect it, you will have to get a Wi-Fi board, you'll have to assemble all that up into a device that looks like a phone, and then you will be able to use it. Now, that is a very tedious process. Not everybody will be able to do it as well. So what do? You buy a phone, right? You go to a shop, you say that, okay, just give me a phone, I'll just use it. Or you borrow it from your friend. In a similar manner, you want to take input and output from your code. The main purpose that you are doing right now, creating a very small code that showcases hello world on your screen. The output should come up as hello world on your screen, guys. Okay. Now just think about it. I want to take input and output. Now doing that from scratch in C++ is very tedious. But lucky enough for you, because it's such a common practice, C++ already comes with all the code that helps you take in input and output. C++ comes with all the code that helps you take in input and output at any particular point of time. Now that code is actually stored inside of C++, inside of a file called as IO stream or input output stream, guys. This file name is usually referred to as iostream.h because it's a header file. We'll be trying to understand what is a header file as well. Now this particular file stores your code, right? This particular file stores your code. Now you don't want to write this code on your own. You just want to Batman has all the gears with him to defeat Joker. Include him in our team. Okay, include him in our team. I want to defeat a particular villain called as Joker. Batman has all the experience, all the tools necessary to do that work for me. So I'll just include him in my team itself. In a similar manner, guys, what we're going to do right now is we want to use this input-output functionality. So we're going to include this within our code, guys. So hash include. This is how you include a particular file. This is how you include a particular file, guys. And then the name of the file, that is iostream, iostream. Now this iostream is basically taking in this file name, that is iostream, that contains all the code that helps you take in input and output, input from the user and show an output to your user itself via your C++ code. This is the exact syntax, the exact grammar to include that within your file. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Yes? Please do not forget the hash in front of include. That is very important. Most of the students I have seen usually forget about the hash and then their code is not working properly. That is the reason I am reminding you guys to that. Okay, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to use this particular IOStream functionality. Okay, we are going to use this IOStream file that we have included right over here to show an output to our user. To show an output to our user, guys. Here we are going to use the cout function. Now to show an output to a user, you use the cout function from our IOStream. To use that particular function, you have to write std, that is the standard template, colon cout less than, then the message that you want to showcase to your user. Cout is basically showing a output to your user, guys. Now what is that output that you want to show? That goes after this less than symbol. For example, I want to showcase an output called as hello world. Okay, hello world, that is the output that I want to show. So this will be the exact grammar for that. That std colon cout less than hello world. Now I want to say that, okay, this is where my code ends. I want to say this is where my code ends, guys. Okay, that is what I want to say right now. So what I'll be doing is I'll be just be writing return 0. This is where you basically say that, okay, this is where my code, my main function ends right over here. This is where my main function ends right over here, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. This is where my main function ends. Now why this 0? Because we have declared the main function as an integer. So you have to return a 0 at the end. We will be talking about what is that integer, why this 0, but try to understand right now that this return 0 is basically like the end of your code. Your end of your code, guys. This is where the main function ends right over there. Okay. Now let's assume we give this particular code to a particular person who has not yet joined the bootcamp. Okay, we give this particular code to a particular function, to a particular person who has never joined this particular bootcamp, who does not know C++. Will he be able to understand what we are doing right over here? Please let me know. Will he be able to understand anything right over here, guys? For example, for people who are coming late to the bootcamp, they are not going to understand what we are doing right over here. They will not be able to understand that what does this int mean. Okay, they will not know that it is the starting point of our code. They will not know what is this std cout, that is the code that you have to write to print something out to your screen. Okay, they will not be able to understand that. So we need to help them out as well. That is where we use comments. Comments are basically not code. They are basically English that you are writing to make somebody understand what is happening in the code. For example, right over here, if I want somebody to understand what I've done inside of this code, I will write a comment. Creating a comment is very simple. Just put 2 forward slashes. Right over there. And we'll just write that this is a code to print hello world. Now as you're able to see, this is not any part of code. This is not a code, guys. The compiler will ignore your comments because it understands that is something meant for other humans to understand what you're doing inside of your code, guys. That is what is called as a comment. Are you guys able to understand what is a comment, guys? Please let me know. Saurabh Patil, I know many of you guys have learned C++. Many of you guys are very advanced in data structures and algorithms as well. Even I am. Don't consider this is my first time writing a C++ code. Okay. But my job right over here is to teach everybody from the basics, right? My job is not to teach just the people who already know stuff. That is not my job. So, I'm going to take up things step by step. I'll introduce you guys to some of the things. I'll make you guys familiarizing yourself with those, practice yourself with those. Then I will also be explaining you guys that what is this std, what is this namespace, what is this IOStream, everything slowly and steadily, guys. We are just starting out slowly and steadily. Have patience, guys, have patience. The main part right now is that you should be able to understand what is the function of each and every line of code. What is happening in the background, that is something else. We'll be discussing upon that. But right now your main job is to understand each and every line of code that I've written. What is the function of that? For example, what is the function function of this hashtag include IOStream? Why do we need it? What is the function of this int main? Why do we need it? Starting point of your code. What is this std out? Why do we need it? Why are we writing that? To print something out on our screen. What is this return 0? That marks the end of your code. Okay. The next particular thing, again guys, there's nothing to understand right over here. According to me, this is basic things, because I have not told you guys anything that you should not be able to understand. Where you are starting the code, where a particular person is starting the game itself, starting point of the race, that is what we have put up right over there. What is the ending point of your race? That is what we have put up right over there. Okay, so even if you are not able to understand why std, you should be able to understand how to put up output. Okay, I will memorize this, std : cout. That is how I can put up an output of my code itself. Slowly and steadily we'll also be understanding why std, but slowly. Right now, have patience, try to understand just this much up till this point of time. Okay, the next thing that we are going to do is to run this particular code. We need to tell the compiler that okay, I'm done writing the code, run this code, compile this code, and show me what this code tells my computer to do. So we are going to put up this particular run button. We are just going to press run and it will run our code. And as you're able to see inside of the output, we are able to see hello world being printed out. Are you guys able to see this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to see this? We are getting this hello world being printed out on our screen, guys. Please let me know. Yes? Okay, great. The next thing that we are going to do is we have learned how to take an input from the user. The next thing is, output. We have learned how to show output to the user. The next thing is how to take an input from the user itself. Now doing that is again pretty simple. We are going to use the cin function. Okay. So first we need to create. So where are you are taking in an input from the user. You need to store it somewhere, right? What are you going to do with an input? If I give you a gift right over there and you don't even have arms, then how are you going to receive that gift? Let's assume you don't have any limbs, not arms, not legs, nothing, just a face, and I give you a huge gift. How are you going to receive it? You just can't, right? You need something to hold that gift with. For example, let's assume if I refer to you as just a human, if nobody had any kind of name, then how would I refer to you in particular? That okay, you Shaurya Sinha, you are the one who got caught cheating in the exam. Let's assume that. Okay, you are the one who had a phone during the exam in college. So how am I going to identify you? By your name, right? I need to store your presence somewhere. Now, in a similar manner, inside of programming, you have something called as variables. Inside of your mathematics as well. If you guys remember, variables is not a new topic to you guys. Variables is something that you have already learned inside of mathematics. Find the x, find the y, x plus y is equals to 25, x is equals to 5, y is equals to 20. So what you were doing right over there is there was some value, 5 and 20, that you were assigning to a particular variable x and y. Now, whenever you are using x or y, it refers to that particular value that is stored inside of it. In a similar manner, here we want to create a variable that is able to store the input coming from the user. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. So we are going to create a variable. Now we know that the user is going to give an integer based, number based particular input. Now data is all around you. There are various different kinds of data all around you guys. In programming languages, these data are divided into various different types. For example, please do remember this. I know many of you guys have studied a lot of different programming languages. In every single programming language, the data types or the types which the data has been classified into can be different. It need not be the same. For example, if I have studied JavaScript, the data types right over there might be different for the data types that I'm studying in C++, because they are two different programming languages with two different grammars that they are following. It need not be same that every programming language has the same grammar. Please do understand that, guys. So right over here, guys, let us create our very first integer based variable. Now we know that this particular variable is going to store a type. We will be learning our data types, all the data types in a lot of depth, guys. Right now, the first data type that I'm introducing to you guys is called as integers. Integers basically store numbers inside of it. Think about it as that: positive, negative, zero, any kind of numbers that you want, you can store it within integers inside of C++. Now to create a variable, let's name our variable num. Okay, let's make our variable. Then variable name, we are going to call it as num. Okay, now we know that this is an integer based particular variable. So we need to declare that when you're coding inside of C++, you need to declare that this is an integer based variable. The data type, the data that will be stored within this variable will also be integer in the case. So to do that, we will be declaring it as int num or integer. That num is an integer, guys. Num is an integer, int num, guys. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take in the input from the user and save it inside of this variable called as num. To take in the input from the user, it is std : cin greater than. Okay, cout is less than, cin is greater than num. So what is happening right over here is you create that. Okay, we are creating this variable name called as num. That is an integer. That is, it is going to store integer based data or number based data inside of it. And then we are saying that, okay, we'll take in an input from our user, and whatever the user is providing as an input, we'll be storing it inside of this num variable. We'll be storing it inside of num variable itself. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. And then we are going to print that num right over here, guys. We'll print that num on our screen. So right over here, instead of directly looking at the number, we are referring to the name of that number, guys. Whatever user is going to input, we are calling that as num. And now we can use num as anything. You can do anything with num. Right over here, I'm using num to print something out on my screen, guys. So if we run this, we'll give an input right over here, guys. Let's give an input of 50. And as you're able to see, we are getting 50 on our screen printed out. We are getting 50 printed out on our screen, guys. Now that is not something that looks appealing, right, guys? If you look at what we have currently made, it does not look nice. We are not able to understand what is the input, what is the output, right? We are not able to understand what is the input, what is the output. Can we use this cout to make it a little bit more beautiful so that we are able to understand, acha, here we are getting the input, acha, here we are getting the output being printed out. Let's try to do that, guys. Let's try to do that. First of all, writing std again and again is a pain in the ass. Being very frank, even I don't like it. Now you can actually ignore it. You can actually remove it by writing something called as using namespace std. You can do that by writing using namespace std. That whatever we are, so we will be understanding what is this namespace and everything, but in tomorrow's class I don't want to go into the depths of C++ on the very first day, otherwise it will become like a huge burden on your heads. I want to take up the easy things on the first day, so that on the second day I can go into a little bit of depth about what is this namespace, what is this std, what are we doing right over there. But for today, let us take it up peacefully itself. We'll not discuss what is this namespace. But if you want to ignore using std, if you don't want to use std, guys, you can directly just write using namespace std. Okay, so if we can remove this from right over here, and just remove this from right over here, guys, and now everything will still work the exact same way. As you're able to see, we'll still get we'll write 50, we'll still get the output of 50, guys. But we don't have to write std : again and again and again. Now what is all that, we'll be understanding in tomorrow's class. Today just let's try to understand the basics, right? Just the basics, just the coding part itself. Okay, the next thing that we can do is let's beautify it a little bit. Now how can we do that? By printing some particular steps out for us to see. For example, we can put up a cout right over here. I'll show it in 2 steps. I know again some of you guys who already know C++ be saying, sir, we can do it like this or that. But nevertheless, we'll do it in 2 steps. So cout less than enter your number. Okay, if we now run this, as you're able to see, it is okay. Did I make any kind of errors right over there? I didn't put up a semicolon at the end. Sorry. Run. Okay, please do not make these type of errors like me. Always remember, inside of your C++ line of code, if you're not putting this semicolon at the end, that is like full stop of English language. Okay, if you're not putting the semicolon at the end, guys, you will start getting errors. So always remember, any kind of sentence, any kind of programming sentence that you're writing in C++, if you want to end it, you have to put up a semicolon at the end. As you're able to see, now it is showing you that, okay, enter your number. It is telling you this is the place where you need to enter your number. So we'll enter our number. Let's assume 48. And we are still getting the output. But it would have been great if it would have shown us that this is your output, or this is your number, this is your input, or this is your output, something like that. So to do that, after giving in the cin, that is after taking in what is semicolons, so that is like, how can I explain that, dot and then comma below that, that is basically semicolon. Again, an English thing, not related to programming in any way. This is something that you should have learned in, I think so, first standard, I guess. What is a semicolon? Okay, so right over here, guys, for example, I can just put out a C out right over here as well, C out, and then this is your output. Okay, now when I run this, okay, when I put up a semicolon and I run this right over here, as you're able to see, we're getting enter your number. We'll enter our number 34. And we are getting, by mistake, I put up a backslash right over there, but still we are getting the same. This is your output, 34. What if I want my output to go to the next line? What if I want to get my output to the next line itself? Okay, then what I do is I can just put out an end L right over here. Okay, I want my output not to come in the same line. Right now what is happening is, first it is printing out, this is your output by the C out. And then it is printing out the number, but both of them are coming in the exact same line, guys. Are you guys able to see this? Both of them are coming up in the exact same line. I don't want that. I want my 34 to come in the next line itself. So I will have to tell that explicitly to C++ that, dude, after this, I want you to end the line, whatever new particular output that you want to give, whatever new particular thing that you want to showcase to the user, do it in the next line itself, not in this line. I want to end the line right over here. To do that, I'll just put up a less than right over here and end L. I'll just make this a little bit larger. Can I do that? I don't know. Okay. This looks a little bit fucked up. I wanted to make it a little bit larger, but I don't think so I can. Nevertheless, I hope so that you guys will be able to understand what I'm trying to do right over here. So C out less than, then this is your output. Then I'm telling the next particular command, I'm continuing with the command itself, is to end the line right over here. So end L basically ends the line right over here, guys. And the next particular C out will go to the next line. The next particular C out will go to the next line, guys. So if I run this once again, as you're able to see, enter your number 24. This is your output, and 24 is being printed in the next line because the line ended right over here. The line ended right over there, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Yes? Great. Awesome. The next thing that we are going to learn about is something called as if-else statement. For example, in our daily life as well, this has happened, I guess so, with everybody right over here, right? If I complete this boot camp, if I come to the boot camp classes every single day on time at 8:15, sit through the entire class, learn something right over there, then I am going to get the certificates. Else, otherwise, I'm not going to get anything. This type of problem statements must have been seen by you as well. Now, that can also be handled within our code. These are called as if-else statement or conditional statements. That if a particular condition is true, then only some code should run. Otherwise, it should not run. Are you guys able to understand this? If a particular condition is met, then only a certain code should run, otherwise it should not run, otherwise some other code should run. Okay, that can also happen. For example, I want to check if a number is positive or negative. I want to check if a number is positive or negative, guys. Let us do that. Let us first take in the input from the user. So int num cin less than num. Then I will just put up a cout as well. Cout. Okay, is cin less than or cout less than? So that is also a big particular thing, guys. Always do remember cin is greater than always. Okay, and cout is less than. Enter your number. Colon. We'll put up right over here. Okay, and then we want to check if this number is greater than or equal to 0, we are going to call it as positive number. If this number is less than 0, then we are going to call it as negative number, guys. Although I know 0 is neither negative nor positive, but for our purpose, for our understanding itself, we're going to take up a simple case. If the number is greater than or equal to 0, we'll call it as positive. If the number is less than 0, we'll call it as negative, guys. Now, to do that, it's simple. Whatever you are saying, you have to write it down. If, then the condition that you want to check, number is greater than or equal to 0. If this particular condition is true, that the number is greater than or equal to 0, guys, only in that particular case, we need to print cout less than. This is a positive, positive number. Okay. Otherwise, if the number is not positive, then we'll have to print it as negative number. Am I right, guys? If the number is not positive, then we'll have to print it as a negative number. So right now, let's leave it at this, and let's always print a particular line. Cout less than. This line is always printed. Okay, so no matter if the statement is true or false, this particular cout is not present within the parenthesis. This particular parenthesis that is there, if that condition is true, that number is greater than or equal to 0, only in that particular case, whatever is present within the parenthesis will run. Otherwise, it will be ignored. Guys. Okay, so right now what we need to do is we need to run this. We've given our input right over there. So let's give an input of 7. And as you're able to see, this is a positive number and this line is always printed. Now we don't want that. We want it to come up in 2 separate lines. So what are we going to do, guys? We don't want both of them to come up in the same line. What are we going to do, guys? Can somebody let me know? I've already taught you guys this, right? What are we going to do, guys? Please let me know. Less than end L. Amazing, guys. Amazing. Less than end L, guys. Great. Awesome. Let us run this again, guys. Again, we'll put in our positive input. As you're able to see, this is a positive number. This line is always printed. What about if we give a negative number right over here, guys? Let's run this. We'll provide it with -7, guys. -7. A negative number, guys. Let us see. We are not getting this is a positive number printed out. Are you guys able to see this? We are not getting that this is a positive number. We are only getting this line is always printed. Are you guys able to see this? Please let me know. So whatever is present within the parenthesis, it will only get printed if our condition is true. Guys. In a similar manner, there is, again, like I said, if this particular condition is true, then something should be printed. Otherwise, else. We can have an else statement as well if there are only 2 conditions that are there. For example, either it is positive or negative. So we can put up an else statement right over here as well, guys. Else, so what is happening is, if this condition is not true, then our else statement will start working. If this condition, so this is a binary condition in which if something is true, then this is going to happen. If something is false, then this is going to happen. Only two pathways are there for us right now. Only two pathways are there for us right now. If something is true, then this should happen. If something is false, then this should happen. So right over here, if this statement is false, if number is less than 0, if number is not greater than or equal to 0, in that particular case, we'll be printing out that this is a negative number. Am I right, guys? I'm just going to copy paste this. I don't want to write it again. This is a negative number, right? Are you guys able to understand this? Are you guys able to understand this else statement, guys? Let us run this and see this. Okay, let's run this. We are putting up a positive number 7. Then we are getting this is a positive number. This is always printed, because if this is true, if this condition is true, then only this particular code is going to run. The else portion is not going to run, because it is the else is only going to run when it is false. And see out, this line is always printed, is always going to be printed, guys. Always. It is not present within the if else statements. Okay, let's run this once more. Let us put up a negative number, guys, negative 10. Okay, as you're able to see, right now we're getting this is a negative number and this line is always printed. Are you guys able to see this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to see this and understand this? Please let me know, guys. Are you guys able to see this and understand this? Please let me know. Now let's consider we don't have a like binary question that okay, if this is positive or equal to 0, then it is positive. It is less than then it is negative. We don't have a binary condition. We have three conditions. If it is greater than 0, then it is positive. If it is equal to 0, then it is neither negative nor positive. And if it is less than 0, then it is negative. We have three statements right now. What we will do? Okay, so we are going to create another particular category in the middle. Else if. So else if is like the middle child, okay, the middle condition that you want to check. The first condition is that if number is greater than 0, then it should be a positive number. We need to check another condition. If number is equal to 0, number is, so this equal to symbol basically checks in C++ and in most of the programming languages if the left hand side is equal to the right hand side or not. If it is equal, then it's true. If it is not equal, it's false. Okay, you are basically checking the LHS versus the RHS. Now in programming, you check it up by using two equal to signs. Okay, two equal to signs, right? And we will be printing this is neither a negative nor a positive number. This is the positive nor a negative number. Okay, and if it is not greater than 0, it is also not equal to 0, then the last particular case is that it is less than 0, right? If it is not greater than 0, the number first comes to here. Okay, it checks, okay, if the number is greater than 0, no, it is not. It moves on to the next particular number. If number is equal to 0, no, it is not that as well. Now the last particular condition is that, okay, there's no other condition. It is going to be less than 0 itself. So else it is a negative number. Are you guys able to understand this? Why two equal to sign? Can't we use a single equal to? So inside of like, why can't I call you as a croissant? Because the parents that created you named you as something. I don't know your name, but they named you as something, right? So that something is what I'm going to call you as. Now, why is that the condition? That is something that I will have to go and ask your parents. Even I can't answer that. Even you can't answer that. Even some cases, the parents can also can't answer that. Okay, sometimes they just name it as something. Right. In a similar manner, why can't we use an equal to sign? Because a usual equal to sign is reserved for assigning a value. Number is equals to 2. That basically means I'm assigning this value 2 to number. Now the variable number is going to contain this value 2. But if I want to check if the number is equal to 2 or not, for that we use double equal to symbol. The number equal to 2. That basically means that I'm checking if the LHS is equal to the RHS or not. The number contained within the number, NUM. The number contained within NUM itself, is it equal to 2 or not? That is what we are doing right over here. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. So if I run this, if I put my input as 0 right over here, as you're able to see, we are getting this is neither a positive nor a negative number, and this line is always printed. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Yes? Everybody is able to understand this. Now it is not compulsory to use this else statement. Okay, if you don't want to check for negative numbers, you only want to check for positive or 0, you can just put if number is greater than 0 then positive, if number is else if number is equal to 0 then negative, then you are having it is neither positive nor negative. I don't want to check whether it is a negative number or not. Just put in the two conditions. Everything will work fine because you are not putting a third condition. You don't want to check for negative numbers. Okay, that is up to you to decide what rules and regulations you want to create for your computer to follow. Just that you have to create those rules within the syntax, within the grammar of C++. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Is everybody able to understand this, guys? Because I'm building up to something. We are going to create the first code that we are going to create is a code that is able to check whether if a number is prime or not. I don't know, like with the prime number or not, or we'll go further with whether it is an even or odd number. So we'll try to come up with something, guys. There's a lot of codes that we can do. Slowly and steadily we'll start learning new things, building new things. The more that you build, the more that you practice, the more that you learn, the more you will try to understand as well, guys. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to learn about for loops, guys. Okay, for loops. Again, whatever I'm teaching you guys is to lead you to a question at the end. That is the reason why. Now that you have understood if, else if and else statements, guys, the next thing that you're going to learn about is for loops. Now, what if I tell you guys that I want hello world printed 50 times on your screen? I want hello world printed 50 times on your screen, guys. What you will do? You will write C out hello world and then you will copy paste it 50 times. Your code has increased. Your code has become very large. There should be a way in which I am able to reduce that code. And that is where your for loops come into picture. Okay. So think about for loops as a particular sports teacher. Right now, let's assume that we are all running for a race in a circular loop itself, and I'm your sports teacher, and now I'm going to tell you guys that until and unless you have completed 50 loops of this track, you are not supposed to stop. Until unless you have completed 50 loops of the same track itself, you're not supposed to stop. That is what a for loop is basically. You will start from the 0th. Okay, so again, inside of C++, we don't start counting from 1. In a normal human way, we start counting from 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. But programming languages, especially many programming languages, not all, many programming languages are 0th indexed language. That basically means that they start counting from 0. So their 1 is basically 0. They'll start from 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. They start counting from 0. Let's assume I as a sports teacher is also 0th indexed in my programming. So I also start counting from 0. So you will start the loop from the 0th index, that is the 0th row, the 0th particular loop, then the first loop, then the second loop, then the third loop, then the fourth loop. I want 50 loops. What will be the index of the last loop, guys? If the first loop I'm counting as 0, what will be the index of my 50th loop? Can you guys let me know? If I start counting from 0, please try to understand this, guys. I want 50 loops to be completed. I want you guys to run 50 times. And if I start counting, if my first loop that I'm counting is 0, then what will be my 50th loop? 49, right? Because 0 is the first one, so 49th will be the 50th one. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. I hope so you guys are able to understand this. This wasn't that hard. Okay, great. Awesome, guys. Now, this is just a normal particular idea that I'm giving to you guys, okay, for your future. But right now, we'll do it in the human way possible itself, okay. So, for loop basically works in a very simple manner. You are having a for loop, you're having a parenthesis, and whatever I mention within this particular parenthesis is your loop, is what you're going to do a certain amount of times. It's a big ass Kida in my room. Ah! What the fuck? Okay, guys, I'm very scared of flying bugs, and there is a big ass bug in my room. Just alert me if it comes and sits on my face. Okay, I'm just very scared of those things. It just flies anywhere, and especially towards your face. I don't like that. Okay, so we'll continue with the class right over there. Sorry for the disturbance. Like I said, guys. For example, in our case, for the sports teacher and the student, the loop was basically completing that circular track, right? Here, the loop can be anything. Here, my loop is print hello world 50 times. That is my loop. That is printing hello world. That is my loop, guys. So I'm going to write C out okay, I've just written C out. Okay, less than hello world, and I will just put it up an endl as well. Otherwise, all the hello world will come in the same line. Now, this is my track. This is what I want to do. I want to print hello world 50 times. Okay. Now, I need to create a counting for that. I need to create my counts, right? Now the for loop is basically your sports teacher. Your track has been laid out. Your track is basically printing hello world. Okay. Now, how many times I want it to be printed? So, the first, there are going to be three parameters right over here, guys. The for loop is going to take up three parameters. The initialization, okay, the initialization, please try to understand this. This is very simple. Initialization, condition, and update. Okay, now how do I do that? First, I will initialize my counter. Somebody needs to count, right? That okay, one loop has been done, two loop has been done, three loop has been done. Somebody needs to initialize that counter. So let's initialize that. Let's create an integer called as I. Int I is equals to 1. Okay, our counter is basically this I as a variable, this integer I, that is the variable, guys, that is our counter, that is going to be counting 1, then 2, then 3 for us. Now, till when should our particular loop go on? Till what count, till what would be the value of I, till which our loop should go on, guys? Please let me know. Till what should our loop go on, guys? Please let me know. Till what should our loop go on, guys? Please let me know. I is now a counter, that is counting how many, what is the current count of your particular loop. Okay, so up to 50 we want I to go. So we'll mention this as the condition. The first one was initialization of your counter. We have initialized our counter, that the initial value of our counter is 1. Now we need to provide the condition up till where this counter should go. So I should be less than or equal to 50. As soon as it is greater than 50, it should stop working. This loop will only work up till I is less than or equal to 50. That is our condition. Okay. And then what should happen after every loop? The counter should increase, right? After every loop, the value of I should be increased by 1. That is how you will be able to count, right? So after every loop, that is what is the update after every loop. I is equals to I plus 1. We are updating the value of I by 1. We are adding 1 to I for every loop that is going to happen. Now, for example, right over here, if I run this, what will happen? In the first loop, when int I will first be created, our counter will be created, that is counter as the value of 1 right now. Now, is 1 less than 50, guys? Is 1 less than 50? Yes, it is less than 50. Okay, so we are going to go inside of the loop and we are going to increase the value of I by 1. So now the value of I is 2 and it will go inside of the loop. It will do, okay, hello world, blah, 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 blah. Again, it will come out on your screen. Now the value of I is 2. Is 2 less than 50? Yes, it is less than or equal to 50. So it will increase by the value of 1, that is 3. It will go inside, it will do everything, so on and so forth, and hence it will print hello world 50 times. It will complete the same track 50 times because that is the counter, that is the update, and that is the condition that we have put right over there. If we run this as you are able to see right over here, we'll get hello world printed 50 times on our screen, guys. On the right hand side, hello world has been printed 50 times on our screen. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Now we can do a little bit of changes right over here just to update ourselves with. the value I is equals to I plus 1. So what is happening is that, please try to understand it. Whenever you are having, so this is LHS and RHS. On the LHS you are having just I. On the RHS you are having I plus 1. Whenever a variable name is on the LHS, it refers to the variable name. It refers to the variable name. Whenever a variable name is towards the RHS, that is the right hand side, it refers to the value stored inside of that variable name. It refers to the value stored inside of the variable name. So this I plus 1, here it is basically adding 1 plus 1, that is 2. And that 2 is now getting assigned to the new I. So the new value inside of I is 2 right now. Now this exact same thing can also be written in a shorthand notation as well. So instead of writing I is equal to I plus 1, I can write it down as I plus plus. It also has the exact same meaning. It also has the exact same meaning. It is much more easier to understand and it is short as well. It is much more easier to write. Instead of writing I is equals to I plus 1, you can just write I plus plus. It is also having the exact same meaning right over there, guys. Exact same meaning. Now what if I don't want to print hello world 50 times? I want to print 1 to 50. I want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 50, guys. That is what I want to print. So what will I be outing right over there? I want to print from I is equals to 1 to 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, go on 50. That is what I want to print. So what will I be outing right over here, guys? And that is a very bad English. There's nothing called a outing. But what will I be putting right over here, guys, in between the two? I, right? That is what I want to print. In this particular way, you will be able to see for every loop what is the new value of I. Okay, so let's run this. And as you're able to see, we are starting the loop with I is equals to 1 and we're going up till 50, guys, right over here. We're going up till 50. So we are starting out with 1 and we're going up till 50, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Yes. Were you guys able to understand this concept of if-else statements? The concept of taking in inputs from the user, showing outputs to the user, the concept of this for loop. Were you guys able to understand it? Please let me know, guys. Yes. So my suggestion to you guys would be, whatever you have learned, see this video again for the certificates, you have to come live to the classes. If you're not present live in the class, will not be able to get the certificates. The class is going to happen every single day at the same time itself. At exactly 8:15, we'll be starting out with our classes every single day. And after that, we will be having we'll be taking up the attendance anywhere within the middle of the class. So if you guys are not present within the class at the right time, guys, you will not be able to understand this stuff. You will not be able to do a lot, guys. Now, a quick suggestion for you guys. After this class, spend 15 minutes. I'm asking this for 15 extra minutes from you guys. Spend these 15 minutes trying to practice what you have learned in the class. Create a if-else statement. Create a particular for loop on your own. Create a input-output stream on your own, guys. Just that. Just practice it. Open up your phone, open up your browsers or your laptops, whatever you want to use. It's an online place. You can do it from anywhere that you want. And can you guys devote this 15 minutes? Now, the reason for that is very simple. The more that you practice on your own, the better you will become at it. It's as simple as that. It has no self-interest of mine. If you are doing it, it's fine for me. If you're not doing it, it's still fine for me. Nobody's going to curse me at the end of the day. But if you really want to learn something from this bootcamp, if you really want to grow from this bootcamp, my suggestion to you guys is pretty simple. Try to practice what you have learned in this particular class. Try to practice what you have learned in this particular class, guys. Can you guys promise me this, guys? Can you guys promise me this? Whatever you have learned in this particular class, you will practice it for 15 minutes after this particular class, guys. Can you guys promise me that? Okay. Now, every single day, the attendance will be taken up in different formats. So if you are not present within the class, you will just miss out on your attendance. You will get only 5 minutes to fill up your attendance within the class somewhere. For just 5 minutes, I'll give you the attendance and you will have to fill it up. If you are not present in the class, you're not paying attention in the class, you will miss out on the attendance. And missing out the attendance basically means missing out on the certificates as well. I don't want that for you guys. You guys are giving in your time, you guys are giving in your efforts. You shouldn't be missing out on certificates, neither the particular class. Both I want it for you guys. Okay. So for that purpose, I'm going to tell you guys right now how to fill up your attendance. Please do remember this, guys. When you're filling up your attendance, fill it up properly. Use the exact same email ID that you are using on YouTube, so that we are able to track whether you guys are actually paying attention in the class or not. The threshold for that will be somewhere around 30 minutes of like live attendance within the class. So if you guys are not present, your ID, that the same email ID you have to use from YouTube, so that we are able to track that up with your attendance, guys. Are you guys able to understand it? Whatever your email ID is there on YouTube from which you are watching the video, you have to provide the exact same email ID on our attendance form as well. And if you are not present within the class, you will just be missing out on your attendance. Today is the first day. Some of you guys are pretty late to the class. I'm able to understand that. But from tomorrow onwards, there will be no excuse. There will be no excuse from tomorrow onwards. Again, reminding you guys, use the exact same emails. Okay, today I'm giving you guys 15 minutes to fill up your attendance. 15 minutes is more than sufficient to fill up your attendance, guys. Okay, understand how the attendance works. What are the problems that you might be facing? Fill the attendance properly today. Read every single question and fill it up properly today, guys. I'm giving you guys 15 minutes today to fill up your attendance. But from tomorrow onwards, it will just be 5 minutes. From tomorrow onwards, it will just be 5 minutes, guys. Okay. So let me give you guys the attendance link right now. Give me a second. And tomorrow I have a small surprise for you guys as well. I hope so you guys will be liking the surprise, because this is something that we have done only for the second time right now. So if you guys are coming to the class tomorrow properly, be present in the class, otherwise you will miss out on the surprise. I don't want you guys to miss out on the surprise, guys. Okay. One more thing, guys, the next particular bootcamp that we are going to have, another free bootcamp with the bootcamp certificates from Google and Amazon and DevTown as well, is going to be the back-end web development bootcamp. So for those guys who are interested to learn JavaScript or back-end web development like Node.js, MongoDB, Express, if that is something that is your aim, like learning full stack development or backend development, just starting out with web development in general or website development, how does the backend of a website actually work? So we are going to have a 7 days free bootcamp starting from the 25th of this month itself. So would you guys be like interested in a bootcamp on backend web development, guys? Please let me know. Will you guys be interested in the bootcamp of backend web development, guys? Please let me know. If you guys will be interested in that, I will be more than happy. Like if you guys are joining that, again, it is going to be a free bootcamp. We are not going to charge anything for that. And of course, along with that, it is also going to have the certificates from Google and Amazon and DevTown for backend web development. Another set of certificates for backend web development given to you guys right over there. So I hope many of you guys will be joining there, guys. And if you guys want to join us there, I'm going to provide you guys with a registration inside of the attendance itself. So if you are marking yes, that I want to register for that particular bootcamp, you are automatically eligible for the particular bootcamp as well as the certificates. Okay, and that way we are also able to track how many of you guys are interested for the same. So that registration is going to be present within the attendance, guys. I'm just creating your attendance. Give me a minute or two. And every single day the classes will be of 90 minutes, guys. 90 minutes of class, because we have to learn a lot. Okay, there's not a lot of time. Today I've just ended the class a little bit early because this attendance is going to take a little bit time from my end. Okay, so like I said, guys, every single day the class is going to go on for 90 minutes from tomorrow onwards. Right now I'm going to give you guys the attendance. Give me a second, guys. I'm just creating the attendance right now. Just give me a minute or two, guys. I just need to put up the backend web development right over there. It will take me 2 minutes, guys. I know I'm a little bit slow with creating the attendance. Just give me 2 minutes. It will take me just 2 minutes to create the attendance, guys. Just be a little bit patient. I'm very sorry. I should have created the attendance beforehand itself, but actually I was still doing my work from the office. I hadn't completed that. I've still not. I want to do it. Okay, so I think so. I've created the attendance, guys. I think so. That should be it. Let me give this attendance to you guys. Okay, listen to me very carefully right now. Now, many of you guys are going to see this particular problem when you try to open the link. That is going to be that traffic error. Okay, you're going to get a traffic error, guys. If you get a traffic error, just refresh or reload the link. It will work absolutely fine for you guys. Can you guys repeat for me that if you get a traffic error, what do you need to do? If you get a traffic error, guys, what do you need to do? Please do remind me. Going to give you guys the link. Just remind me this, guys, because most of you guys are going to then tell to me that link is not working. Okay. If you are getting a traffic error, just refresh or reload the page. That's it, guys. That's it. Okay. Secondly, use the exact same email IDs of the YouTube account that you are watching this particular class with within the attendance. Otherwise, you will not be able to get the attendance, guys. Use the exact same email ID. The today's attendance is open for 15 minutes. You have a lot of time to do that. Okay. And if you have missed the class today, please make sure you are present the class tomorrow on time, because if your YouTube ID, email ID does not match with our particular emails, then we will not be able to allow you to get the certificates. It's not just about the attendance right now. If you are present in the class or not, that too we need to know. So use the exact same email ID as your YouTube account that you're using to watch the particular class with. Okay, as well as if you're not present live in the class, you will not be able to get the certificates, guys. Okay, so the link I'm providing you guys within the live chat, please start filling up the attendance, guys. I use a different account to register. Is that problem? No issues in that. Just use the exact same email account for filling up your attendance. Okay, if you use a different account for registration, there is no issues in that. Okay, just use the exact same email ID for your attendance. Otherwise, we will not be able to track it, and hence we will not be able to give you guys the attendance as well. Just make sure of that, guys. That is the reason why today I'm giving you 15 minutes. From tomorrow, only 5 minutes will be given for the attendance. Please make sure that you are able to fill up the attendance properly, guys. That's a humble request from my end. Okay. The attendance link is in the live chat, guys. As you're able to see, I've also pinned the attendance link up in the live chat. So you will be able to see it from right over there as well. If you're getting a traffic error or something like that, please do refresh or reload the link. The attendance link is working absolutely fine. There will be no issues in that. Just as you're able to see, 15 students have already completed their attendance as well. So the link is absolutely working fine, guys. Just make sure that if you're interested in the bootcamp, the next bootcamp on backend web development, please do mark that as well. I provide you guys with the attendance link in the live chat. Please do fill it up properly. You have to use the exact same email, Shashwat, with which you are actually watching this video. Okay, only then we will be able to track your attendance. Okay, please do fill up the attendance link properly, guys. I have provided you guys with the attendance link right over here in the live chat. Please do fill it up properly, guys. If you are facing any kind of traffic error or something, just refresh or reload the page. It will work absolutely fine for you. Okay. If you have done the particular, sir, please tell, we'll make clones also there in web development bootcamp. Absolutely, yes. In the backend web development bootcamp, either it will be a Flipkart clone or a note taking application clone. We'll see depending upon the turn up of the students. Okay, for those who have filled up the attendance, guys, you guys can leave as well. The class is over. We will meet tomorrow in tomorrow's class. Please be on time, don't be late. Okay, just make sure that you guys, this is the first day of class dash, the first day of class. Please make sure that you are able to fill up the attendance properly, guys, and we'll meet in tomorrow's class on time, 8:15 in the evening. I hope to see you guys right over there, and I hope that you guys liked today's class. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll meet in the next class, right, guys? Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye, guys. Bye bye. Do fill up your attendance, guys. Bye, guys. Bye bye. Bye bye.